This is logical MGTOW Spock. As you can tell, I got a haircut somewhat recently within this month. I cut my own hair. Uh, a lot more cost effective, actually. Today's video is going to be basically a mixture of things here. One, a message to the feminists and the Me Tooers, the females, of course. And of course, to many of the women who I dated and was in a relationship with, and those women who didn't give me the time of day. You may call this vengeance, but it's not. But the basic fact is that I know that women have gone to the general aspect of ever since, even after, I'd say, the 1950s, to where men were, shall we say, emotionally and sexually manipulated, in a matter of speaking, to get women things more so than for themselves, being themselves being for the man. And it was like a, shall we say, a aspect of having to pay for a ticket at a fucking carnival or a amusement park of sorts. You get something extravagant, and man gets essentially something extravagant and or something in general that what the woman wants. Maybe at times, even at times more than one time within the relationship. She gives herself up to you. That's the aspect of paying for the ticket, going along for the ride sexually. But in many ways, women are going for the ride as well. And the other part of it is that as women go for the ride, they're not they to them they don't feel like they're going for the ride. They're just going as things progress, right? But we men do the same thing. But and the one thing is also is that there are men out there that have even felt where in order for me to stay in a relationship that that I have to keep doing this for her, but and ignore myself and ignore things for myself. That was a wrong way of thinking. Women have had it going to go that way for quite a long period of time. I know many women would say no, that's not true, but the basic fact is that women have gone even since the 1990s, to where even if you have to pay for food, groceries, your bills, and your rent or mortgage, they want you to pay to buy them things first. Like they come first before your survival and responsibilities. Uh-uh. It's never been that way. Women expect it to be that way, though. Especially the young women who are not fully independent, the ones that live either with their parents or the ones that are rooming with their friends or a roommate in general, be that, of course, at times even in the 1970s, man or woman or both. And at times there would be a woman that you're dating, that you did date essentially, that was living with a man and a woman going together already. And basically, you think you can trust them, and then essentially you find out, like right when you marry, the woman, for example, if you were to go, shall we say, warp ahead in time, then you find out she was done by her friend's fiance while living in the same under the same roof when the her female friend was not around. That has and it has happened with a good number of people who who I don't know personally, of course, but I know it has happened even in the 1970s as well as the 80s and as well as the 1990s mostly most of all as well. Um, we don't know this until we go to the points of time not though, and at times we don't know that unless the woman that we are married to divulges it, essentially says it, or in some way if she's found out in some respect, or if the female friend um, basically blurts it out in conversation. Um, that has happened. It doesn't only happen on sitcoms. It has happened in real life. And yet women expect us to trust them more than they have to trust us. It doesn't go that way. If there's no trust, if there's more trust on one side and not so much trust on the other, then it's not a true, actual, stable relationship, even emotionally as well as psychologically. And if it continues to be that way even while having children together, then there is something deeply wrong. I say this because it's happened more often than not. More often the aspect of where the woman expects shit, but the man doesn't really expect a whole lot of shit, but expect and thinks that he would get what he deserves in a positive sense and positive way and what have you. But it always and it practically always ends up to where she gets benefited more than he does, more than the male essentially. If at all, she gets more benefited and he gets benefited with the beneficial aspect of zero. It's like she's the golden trophy, and that's all he needs. And that's all he would basically deserve in her mind. Outside the birthday and Christmas gifts and Father's Day gift and the anniversary gifts, whatnot, right? That's all he deserves is her. But she deserves more than him. That's the way it's been going. It's been going like that since the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And millennium. It's not going to go that way any longer. MGTOW brothers, this of what I say is true, and you know it. If you really think back while you were in relationships or marriage, and I know a number of you were in marriages, a number of you were in long-standing relationships, even the off and on ones as well, and you have done these things, even if it didn't really phase you in any way, shape, or form, or whatnot. But it has happened. But it happens in different intervals, different aspects, in different ways and manners, and what have you else, in different forms and levels of action. And women still even expect that even today. Even the ones that you meet online, they expect you to pay for everything under the sun. Like for example, the woman online will ask you to buy them an iTunes card, and you're not even serious with them. They haven't even met you in person. Even in the first meet, they still expect you to do shit for them in the sense of this. Or I should say, in the sense of money. You get what I'm saying now, don't you? MGTOW Brothers and Future and soon to be MGTOW Brothers. And I know I'm not gonna give anybody validation, but McHenry should know this as well. Even though he thinks that he's God's gift to women, no man is God's gift to women. No woman is God's gift to man either. Those who think those two things is boasting emotionally and psychologically within themselves, and they are more than delusional. Because if you think that you're God's gift to women, like if you're the Fonz, and hell, even the Fonz doesn't think that he's God's gift to women. He knows that if he gets a woman, fine. If he doesn't, he's fine with that too. The reason I say that is because I know the Fonz. The Fonz, Henry Winkler's character on Happy Days, was exactly as I said. He was my role model. The character as well as the actor. All in one. Morgan Mindy was the same. Robin Williams was the same way. He was a comical actor as well, and he was also my role model along with Pam Dauber. They taught me things as well. So did Tom Bosley and the one that played Marion Cunningham, and of course Richie Cunningham. Ron Howard taught me a little bit of things, but mostly it was the Fonz. Robin Williams, Tom Bosley, and the one that played Marion Cunningham mainly, along with Pam Dauber and Robin Williams, essentially, and Morgan Mindy. Um, but basically, I know the type of person the Fonz was and is. Outside of the tough guy exterior, the Fonz was more genuine, more level headed than the ones that think that oh, hey, like I got a leather jacket, I got I can get any woman I want, and women have to do what I say type of shit. Mm-mm. The basic fact is that that persona was not logical, nor was it realistic. Of course, women think that even if they have loads of fucking mascara and makeup on them, and with the way they look in clothing, they think they can snap up a guy, any type of guy that they so choose. No, that's distorted thinking. The basic fact is that if the woman wants to be with a man, she needs to realize she cannot jump from one person to the next if they go into a relationship. But even ever since the 1990s, women have gone behind the guy's back while in a relationship with the guy. And of course, men have done that same thing while in a relationship with a woman since the 1980s. But yet, the difference is women are doing it even more now, like they did in the 1990s, more than men are. way more than men. In fact, it's not even heard of men doing it ever again, or if that at all, if that at all, really. You mostly hear about that even on the program Cheaters. Mostly hear about women doing that more than men. It's like women are doing a payback, but really it's the fact that women are indecisive. They can't, and they have a base of what's known as indecision. They are still trying to figure shit out for themselves, even while in a relationship with the dude. They say they have figured shit out for themselves, but really they haven't. If they go to the point of saying, "Well, you're hardly never around. That's why I did this." Poor excuse, illogical, sinful excuse. Logical MGTOW's fuck knows this for a fact, and that's me. I'm logical MGTOW's fuck, of course, as you know. Um, so women have no leeway, no levity of any sort to do the sinful, illogical shit. Of course, neither did men, but men did it, right? In the 1980s and 70s and 60s. And of course, there are a number of women, even mostly unheard of in those same eras, that have done it as well. So, women, you cannot say that you're innocent in those eras as if you didn't do a damn thing when you know damn well there's a percentage of you from those eras that did. And most of them are your mothers as well as your fathers. I'm not saying it was all of them, but there was a good percentage of it. Now to the message to, if I may just add this, to the message to those who I was in a relationship with, and I'm going to name them. One was Christina Schneider. She was my high school girlfriend at the time. And one, of course, was Jill Yeaman, aka now Jill Dixon. And Rose Benton, aka the real name Alyssa Benton. Now, for Christina Schneider, she could have easily waited till I got back from Arizona. She didn't. Basically, she lost out in many, many positive things, even if she were to be with me even now. Of course, I know if she was with me even now, I wouldn't be part of MGTOW like I have been for as long as I have been so far. But she missed out. She would have been getting all the things plus more. But the only thing is, though, is that I wouldn't do it to where I benefit her more than I benefit myself. Same thing with Jill. Same thing with Rose, aka Alyssa Benton. The real name, of course, Alyssa Benton. And I know to many MGTOW brothers, you might think that I miss those days. I don't. You think I want to go back into the same gynocentric bullshit that they pulled and did whatnot? No. The basic fact is, yes, I was younger then, but than I am now anyway. But and I was learning as well at the same time, even though I knew from the experiences I've had with the women before. And with that though too is that you can learn from your aunts and your other female um, parts of your family, even from birth, even from when you're like very little. And at times, yes, a percentage of you, and when you're very young, you don't really pay attention, but it's there, and you know it. Then when you get older, then you think back of those times. Logically, the MGTOW brothers, I'm being honest here. And you know, I've been a MGTOW brother for quite some time actually now, and with the knowledge that each of us have, we have a different level of knowledge, and I respect it, and I more than acknowledge that. I have more than acknowledged that. Um, and with that, we voice it with our own experience, the only way we know how to. Not so much of what the way we were taught, but the way we know how to better to help people better understand us in general, us MGTOW brothers in general. There are those that probably still didn't have that quite much of experiences as I did and as many other MGTOW brothers have. That are also MGTOW brothers, that ones that didn't have that much experience, maybe a slight bit, a slight percentage. That's fine. You don't need that. You don't need years upon years upon years of experience when it comes to the female gender to proclaim yourself as a MGTOW brother or even to become a MGTOW brother. You just even because a person can be going only so far, but only willing to handle so much, and it varies per person. Some people can handle more and then recoup, and then handle more again, and then recoup again, then handle more, and then what have you else. But there are those who have handled only so much, even after a moderate base of recouping, right? Reassessing them within themselves essentially, and then they've given up to the points of suicide because they think that they'll never find anybody. They think that they're worthless and all this other stuff. Never think that. To the men out there, never think that you're worthless. And never think that you're hopeless. You are equally important to Heavenly Father Himself and our Savior Jesus Christ, like every other person is. Yes, you may want to be in a relationship. You may not. You may want to have children and whatnot else. The base of the fairy tale thing of being married, being man and woman, husband and wife, generalization, um, with children. But the one thing is, men who are not yet MGTOW, you've got to realize this: women have gotten to the points to where you don't matter as much as they do. You need to pay the fucking carnival ticket. And that goes to the points of not only dinner, lunch, and breakfast with with them, uh, it also, and not only the base of like alcohol drinks and whatnot, but and also Valentine's gifts and and shall we say dedications of music on radio stations or what have you as well. And basically, they they will be going to the point to the woman will be going to the point to where they think they can get anyone at any given time that will give them what they want and when they expect it. There are men out there that think the same thing as women on that same level, but end up going they ends up going the opposite direction to where the woman gets what she wants. Women have been more than stubborn, more than childlike, and they can, and even society calls that they're still adults. They're still themselves independent, even though they're acting like little fucking children, expecting to get shit, and if they don't get shit, they rant and rave and temper tantrums in their own ways and levels and whatnot. I'd say society eventually will wake up to the points is that if a woman is to act like a child, of expecting shit to be given to her, be that of course the something for nothing aspect as well. Um, which is a child aspect as well. Then I think society will eventually wake up and say, "Wait a minute, this is wrong. This particular way the women have acted towards men, and when it comes to men in general, and what have you else, it is wrong. The men have not expected the something for nothing, but again, even those men that have, and it ends up going towards the woman, the something for nothing aspect." And eventually the man goes to the point of giving in to that. We MGTOW brothers know this. And when the woman strays, there's a percentage of men that have gone to the point of committing suicide. Like one MGTOW brother and my close friend, my online close friend to start with. Um, his name was Mr. Hate Vicious. He's a MGTOW brother still, even though he hasn't done videos at all really. Since last anyway. Uh, he saved the person. He saved another male's life. Another man's life from breathing in exhaust fumes because the dude felt worthless, like he didn't matter to anybody, so he might as well not matter to himself, and just end his life right then and there. Even if it was not that painful, or even if it was painful after a while, or even if it does get painful after a while, in the sense of breathing in exhaust fumes while in a closed-in area such as a garage. I'm not giving any ideas or pointers, but that's exactly what happened. The basic fact is, men matter. Us men matter equal to women, if not more so, because we're the ones that bring home the bacon. Of course, there's women nowadays are able to bring home the income as well. Logically, as an advocate like I am, that's within the Constitution. That's even been in the Constitution even before society has accepted it to be. Let's put it this way: if society were to accept it that way, then there would be no need for feminist movements. There would be no need for Me Too movements. There would be no need for the ERA. But due to the fact of the way things were back when, right? That's the reason why there was an ERA, why there was why there is essentially the feminist and Me Too movements. But the one thing is the difference between the ERA back when, right, and the feminist and Me Too movements now is women are expecting to get a higher percentage more than men, and to cut down what we men have gotten, as if the woman gets more, even in this male dominated society, and the man gets as less or on the same level as women felt that they got, even from the government itself. The basic fact is that the feminist women don't realize this, and the Me Too women don't realize this, is that we work our asses off even before we meet you women. We work our asses off to survive before we even meet you women. We work to survive and to basically make it in the world as we go to the points of independence. Even though maybe a percentage before it, we are on our own in the base of independence, paying for our own shit, and yet even we can still be going to the points of independently working, but still living with our parents at a certain point in time within our lifetime. And then eventually we build up enough to where we can be on our own. Then we learn things as we go from that point. But we still keep going towards the independent thing, but even work even harder to stay independent, to stay where we're able to survive on our own. Even though we never discount that our parents will help us any way they can, just like it is for women. Although in a way it's more so for women than it is men in the thought of many young boys, essentially, many young teen boys, that is, think that, or may think that. But the basic fact is that if the guy is in a brother sister aspect with their parents, or a brother and sister, or fully sisters and the one male, the parents still can help each and every person on the same level. There's no favoritisms, even though it may seem like it. Yeah, believe me, it does seem like that when we men are that young. I know that. Believe me. But the basic fact is it's not. No parent logically would set the female gender of the child, or the children, essentially, more important to support financially than the male side of the child. Although There are men out there that are able to survive on their own, even if the parents do give them a percentage, if not the same percentage as they would for the daughter or daughters. Although there are parents out there that I know that do favor the daughter more than they do the son, and there are those that seem to be more favoritism towards the son than they are the daughter. And at times there are parents that are favoritism for the aspect of the son as well as one of the daughters, not every daughter, practically. Or there could be one daughter that's not solely, that's not 100% supportive financially, but the other ones are, right? The other females are, and as well as the son is, or sons are as well. That's the way things have been going in various different cities, states, and counties, and different family circles. And that's why a number of people have gone to the points of psychiatry, going to see a therapist, psychiatrist, psychologist, what have you else, for various different reasons, emotional, psychological, and a percentage of intellectual, and what have you else. I mean, there's a it varies. There's a variable per person, per family circle, and what have you else, and per situation and reasons, and also per conflict, emotional as well as psychological as well. Even while the person was being raised, or persons, whichever. The one thing is, women think that men cannot do any better without the woman. Yet, for centuries, men have done way better without the woman, and even better with the woman. They've been able to. The male gender has been able to accomplish things both with and without a woman. So the feminist aspect of men can't are not able to do any better without us women. That's a load of shit and not true, and also a sinful assumption. And even you can also call it a sinful accusation, verbally. The basic fact is also, when it comes to Christina Schneider, my high school girlfriend many years back. I'm not sure if she's married. I'm not sure if she was married, or even was about to be at one point, to the one chump that she was seeing after, even though I came back from Arizona that one year. And even with the aspect of where Rose Benton, aka Alyssa Benton, thought she was able to do and get away with anything and everything that she felt like she was able to get away with, and especially in the sense of going against the Bible by cheating on me, as she did with my old friend and no longer a friend of mine, known as Michael Hager, that she cheated on me with. She missed out. Both of those two women missed out on being with me, being able to be independent like I am and like I have been. I've been independent since my mid to early and late 20s. Even though I'm much older now, they could have easily been still with me, but they chose to do stupid shit. Rose and Jill decided to do stupid, illogical, sinful shit in the sense of cheating on me. That goes within the aspect of indecision, not sure what they want for themselves in their lives, as it does happen with and to many women within themselves, intellectually, psychologically, and emotionally. They won't admit it freely because they think that if they admit things like that, then they will be viewed by people and society in general as weak. There are many things that us men don't admit because we are logically afraid of the same thing. But the basic fact is that never fear things and do not go towards the aspect of where even if you do, you're not less of a person. Because I know when people do admit certain things, then they feel less of a person and weak due to even the vocal statements and sayings and such like that by those who they do and do not know. Don't worry about that. I can admit many things that I can say that I would be fearful of, but I'm not fearful of it anymore. I haven't been fearful of it for some time actually. But the basic fact is, if people don't want to demean me and try to talk me down, emotionally, psychologically, tear me apart, they can't anymore. They can sure as hell try, but they won't be able to. They want it, and I know there are a number of people who will try to get at your goat, metaphorically, in the emotional, psychological sense as well, while they verbalize shit, in indicating how weak you are and how insignificant you are when you're not insignificant and you're not weak. You can call it a shield that I've shielded myself from that. You can call it that. It's not, but you can call it that. I've become more confident than anybody realizes within myself and for myself. I've gone to the points of what's known as what I would basically essentially go as far as saying the aspect of Spock from the Star Trek, the original series and the movie, which of course is Leonard Nimoy's character. Even though it was scripted, I'm going along the same generalization because I can use it in the realistic sense, and I can teach many people how to do that if they really truly want to do it. But things will take time. You cannot be impatient and thinking that it's like a few days or a few hours of a course. It There's many steps. Trust me, I've had to go through those steps as I progress through life. It wasn't easy, but I did it. And so can you. MGTOW brothers and future and soon to be MGTOW brothers. And those who are not MGTOW brothers, those who would be in the sense of white knights, manginas, simps, blue pilled idiots in the male gender. You can do the same thing as I have on that aspect. But the one thing is, you need to really want to and be more than willing to be patient as you're taught things by me, a step at a time, a section at a time, and what have you. The way you utilize it is up to you. The way you go about it would be up to you. But if you find something is not right, then believe me, you can tell me, and I can easily help you through it. Do you realize if Christina Schneider and Jill Yeaman, aka Jill Dixon, and Alyssa Benton, and who wanted to be called Rose Benton, um, that if they are watching, they can see that I have bettered myself, and I know that's a very bad thing for those who have done you wrong, for those who have done us wrong. They don't want to see us men do better without them than we did with them. That's the aspect right there. I know Jill might say, "No, that's not true." Oh, really? If that wasn't true, then how? Then answer the fact was that you cheated on me because you weren't sure what you wanted in your life, even then. That's why you cheated on me, Jill Yeaman, aka Jill Dixon, back in the day, many years ago. Essentially, is that why? Because there's no reason. You can make up all the reasons you want. It it will not make anything better, even for yourself. I could ask the same thing to Christina Schneider, my old high school girlfriend. Why didn't she wait for me? I wasn't expecting it really in a sense, but I was thinking that she might have, because I didn't expect myself to be in Arizona as long as no longer than I was. We could have rekindled things and made it last longer than it did. And she might say it's my fault, but it's not. She decided to go with the schmuck, regardless of the reason or reasons. I'm doing a lot better than I have than I did. Although I did just as well with them, but I'm doing even better without them. Women don't like that when it comes to us men on that aspect. They want them to do better than us men. It doesn't work that way in reality and in logic. It needs to be equal. One gender, being the male gender, needs to want to do better and actually are doing better. And if the woman can't accept it, that's not on the man, it's on the woman. Like it or not, accept it or not, it will not change. So yes, I am doing better than the women I went with in a relationship with, essentially, than they may expect or have expected. Of course, it took some time, like many things do. The basic fact is that if I were to run into Christina Schneider at any given point, and if she wanted to get back with me, tough shit. You had your chance. If Alyssa Benton wanted to get back with me, same thing. Tough shit. You had your chance. You fucked it up. And that fault is on you, not me. Same thing with Jill Yeaman. If she ever wanted to get back with me, tough shit. You had your chance. You fucked it up. Wasn't my fault. That whole thing was on you and still is. The basic fact is that if any other woman were to be able to get with me, I'm not saying it will happen because I know the way women are, especially with the feminist and Me Too movements, even though the feminist and Me Too movements are not doing anything beneficial or positive for women anyway. But the ERA did, though, in the 1970s. Without the ERA, even though before the ERA, society did obviously ignored the fact that in accordance to the Constitution, women had a right to work. Even in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, as well as the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Not very many women did work, even during the wars, even before the war that this country has gone through in its history. Women were able to work and do things there have been a number of women who have written books in this country's history, but had to write a male's name as the author, even though it was them, even though it was the woman. Not very many people are aware of it. And there are many women that have used a male's name, even though it was acceptable for women to write, to be an author of a book or books in general. Kind of distorted, really. But that's the way things were. I'm not saying that they are that way now, but they could be acclimated that way depending on who the author or inventor deals with in order to get their thoughts and what have you out. Even storytelling and such like that, right? And even the invention aspect as well. But outside of that, Jill Yeaman, aka Jill Dixon, you had your chance. You screwed it up. That fault is on you, not me. It's never been on me. And it never will be. Same thing to Alyssa Benton, aka Rose Benton. Same thing to Christina Schneider. Think of all the things that we could have done. Christina Schneider and Alyssa Benton and Jill Yeaman. If you didn't do what you did, as if it was my fault, when I know for a fact even then it was not my fault. It was your doing, your actions that caused it. Even if you were trying to figure shit out for yourself. Or whatever the other even made up reason that you want to come up with or try to make up to make yourself feel better. And to try to make me look like the bad guy when I know I'm not. Basic fact is, women will do that. MGTOW brothers. Many of the original MGTOW brothers, like besides myself, know this. Many of the blue pillars are, and the Mangenas, Simps, and White Knights are gradually getting to know this. Slowly but surely. But they still are progressing, obviously. And continuously being a White Knight and the simp blue pilled Mangena idiots that they are. Weak men in that aspect. And women expect that. They want to show the strength and self assurance within themselves, even though they are not too self assured, too confident within themselves. The woman is, anyway. The woman is not that self assured and confident, even as they see men trying to get with them and doing practically almost anything and everything for the woman. But there are those men even through MGTOW that will not go that pathway ever again. Even if the laws were changed to benefit men as well as women, even though in the Constitution already men as well as women are benefited equally. But in society's aspect, especially when it comes to the divorce situations, that it's been where the daddy government essentially fucking benefits the woman more than the man, if at all the man. So basically, the court system, in the sense of daddy government in the divorce proceedings, is one-sided and has been for some time. Yes, it's still unheard of though that men are the victors in the divorce proceedings, but the percentages of where women are the victor financially, economically, what have you, is more well known than it is for the man to be the victor in the divorce proceeding, and that's the truth. I am strong and unstrung, self-assured and independent, and happy for who I am and who I become, even before MGTOW, even during MGTOW. I can say that Jill wanted me to come down to where she lived, or probably still lives at, with her now husband, But I know the way it would have operated, where she would try to get me to go on her and right in front of Chris, to where Chris would pelt me a few, as if she didn't really want it, but really she did, but she wouldn't be so openly admitting that aspect that she's the one that instigated it, because she wants to think that she wants Chris to think that he's the only one for her. When basically if she wasn't going to instigate the thing, then basically that would show that she is for him only. But if she instigated the points of where the other guy, being myself or whoever at that point in time, were to where she would draw the guy towards her in any way, even in the kissing and romantic aspects, but or even right in front of Chris. Basic fact is that Chris would need to realize women like Jill do that type of shit. Chris Dixon needs to realize she's done it in her past. She hasn't stopped, even though it may seem like it. Even though it may seem like she has, she has. No true woman has quite yet. There are those that have, but eventually they go right back to the same shit again. You see it on the program cheaters every time, practically, even if it's a repeat. It doesn't change the fact that women are very, very indecisive, with the base of also indecision, not sure what they truly want for themselves in their life and for their life and for them in general, especially when it comes to relationships. Even if the guy were to be with them, but yet work his ass off more times than she expects, and then right when she thinks that she can get away with the fact of saying, "Oh, you're hardly ever around. You're always working." That's a fucking poor ass excuse and a phony excuse. That the fact of the woman cheating on the guy is not the guy's fault. It's no guy's fault if the woman decides to cheat on the guy. She may think it is, but it's not. She may try to make it out like it is, but it's not. That whole thing is also towards the feminist movement and the Me Too movement, a message to those members, the female members, as well as to the ones that I dated. You cannot get away with such sinful actions and illogical, unrealistic actions, and what have you else of what I stated. The basic fact is also MGTOW brothers and future and soon to be MGTOW brothers, and also Mangina's blue pills, white knights. Women have truthfully, and it's still going on even now, women have truthfully turned marriage, the aspect of marriage, into a business to benefit the woman. It hasn't changed. And yet, Heavenly Father and our Savior, both of them set up marriage to where it benefits both, not just the one. But women have acclimated it with the support and backing of daddy government in the divorce proceedings where it's beneficial for the woman. And even if it's not the beneficial thing for the child, they don't give a damn about that. All they care about is getting what they want, what they think they deserve, and what they think that they're entitled to. There's no entitlements when it comes to marriage. There's no entitlements when it comes to relationships. There's no entitlements for anybody. There's no base of like, you need to do this for me or this won't happen. Or you need to do that for me and get this for me or this or that and the other thing won't happen. It doesn't work that way in reality. Because that just shows that you're not really sure what you want for yourself, ladies, and for your futures. Even if it does seem like it, you do know what you want, but yet you really don't. If you're going to acclimate against the Bible, especially in the sense of adultery, as well as trying to manipulate the system in the sense of having marriage into a business that benefits you, not both sides. Even when in a spiritual aspect, marriage is beneficial for both, not just the one. Regardless of the procedure of the way daddy government works it in the divorce proceeding. Regardless of that, marriage has always been beneficial, a 50-50. Not a 90-20 or 90-10 or 90-0. That's the truth. So, with that said, if Jill Yeaman, aka Jill Dixon now, and if Tina Schneider, I don't care what her last name, if she's still married or not, is or might be, and if Alyssa Benton is married or not, and before mentioned Rose Benton, if they watch this video, which I really can care less if they do or don't, or even if it's mentioned. If you're watching this video, you can see I'm doing a lot better without you and more so because you did wrong. I didn't. You may have try to make it think that I was the one in the wrong and you were in the one in the right. The one thing is, though, too, what women don't realize, and of course men don't realize this either, is that if you do wrong, if the woman does wrong, and even if they try to make it out as if it's the man's fault, when really we don't force you women to do the adultery, the cheating, the going against the Bible. It's your actions, your choice. It's not the fault of the man, regardless of even if you wanted to make it out as if it is, when the man didn't force you to do a damn thing in the sense of cheating or sense of going against your vows. So you can try to make it out as a man's fault all you want, ladies. It's not going to solve anything for you, especially, or the situation. And to those women that are not, and by the way, I'm wearing this because it's summer. Anyway, um, for the women that are expecting to get things for nothing, even though it was online, forget it. Those men that go online to try to meet women, don't fall for that shit. Where they expect you to buy shit for them or send them money for any given reason. If they are willing to see you, men, they will pay for it themselves. Women are able to work and make their own money ever since 1979 to 1980, and they can still do it. If they really wanted to be with you, men, then they would make the move and pay for shit on their own. They would not go to the points of expecting the guy to get them the ticket or whatever the hell else. The basic fact is that women claim to be independent. Show it, ladies. Show that you're independent by paying for shit on your own. Quit expecting men that you even meet online to get shit for you. Because basically, in all realistic and logic, that if a woman claims to be independent, yet they expect a guy to get something for them even when they're not even married to them or even face to face with them, that doesn't show that the woman is independent. That even negates the independence for the woman. Even if the woman refuses to see it, it doesn't change. You women expect guys to get shit for you, even when you meet him online. Even if you meet the guy online, you women cannot go to the one side. Okay, buy me a ticket or a bus ticket or a plane ticket, and buy me this iTunes card, and buy me this and buy me that, and send me money for this and that and the other. That doesn't show you the base of independence at all, ladies. You can accept it if you choose, but the basic fact is, even if you deny it, it won't change to be what it is, being truth and factual. This is logical MGTOW Spock in the summer attire, besides the uniform right here. And even McHenry Cruiser needs to realize this as well. But anyway, to all my ex-fiancés and ex-girlfriends, even the ones I did not mention, you had your chance. I'm doing better. I was doing good, if not better, with you as well as I am now, even doing better than that without you, ladies. This is Logical MGTOW Spock. Live long and prosper, MGTOW brothers and future and soon to be MGTOW brothers. Stay safe, stay strong, stay self assured. Free yourself from feminism and the feminist bullshit traps and controlling aspects and manners and whatnot. Be who you want to be, men. Be who you can be. Have faith and belief in yourself, with men. MGTOW for life, brothers.